Welcome, history enthusiasts, to timeless tales of antiquity. Today, we journey back to one of the most iconic battles in human history, the Battle of Thermopylae. In 480 BC, a small band of Greek warriors, led by the legendary Spartan king Leonidas, stood against the vast army of the Persian Empire under King Xerxes there. This battle, fought in a narrow mountain pass, has become a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and the power of determination against overwhelming odds. But what really happened at Thermopylae? Let's uncover the truth behind the legend. To understand Thermopylae, we must first understand the context. The Persian Wars began when the Persian Empire, under Darius I, sought to conquer Greece. In 490 BC, at the Battle of Marathon, the Athenians defeated a Persian invasion force, humiliating the mighty empire. Darius' son, Xerxes I, vowed to avenge this defeat. By 480 BC, Xerxes had assembled an enormous army, estimates range from 70,000 to 300,000 men, and set his sights on Greece. The Greeks, aware of the threat, formed an alliance, with Sparta taking the lead. But they were outnumbered and outmatched. Their only hope was to use the terrain to their advantage. The Greeks chose to make their stand at Thermopylae, a narrow pass in central Greece. Here the mountains meet the sea, creating a choke point where a small force could hold back a much larger army. Leading the defense was Leonidas, king of Sparta, who selected 300 of his finest warriors to join him. They were joined by other Greek city-states, bringing the total Greek force to around 7,000 men. On the other side, Xerxes commanded a force that seemed unstoppable. But numbers alone do not win battles. Strategy, terrain, and courage do. Thermopylae, meaning hot gates, was a natural fortress. In ancient times, the pass was much narrower than it is today, with steep cliffs on one side and the Malian Gulf on the other. The Phocians, local inhabitants, had built a wall across the pass, which the Spartans repaired and strengthened. This wall, combined with the narrow terrain, gave the Greeks a significant advantage. The pass was only about 15 meters wide at its narrowest point, forcing the Persians to attack in a narrow front where their numerical superiority meant little. The Greeks positioned themselves strategically. The Spartans, with their heavy armor and long spears, held the center. They were flanked by warriors from other city-states, including Thespians, Thebans, and Phocians. Their plan was simple: hold the pass as long as possible to delay the Persian advance and give the Greek navy time to engage the Persian fleet at Artemisium. But could this small force withstand the might of Persia? For 4 days, Xerxes waited, perhaps underestimating the Greeks or waiting for his navy to arrive. On the 5th day, he ordered his troops to attack. The first wave consisted of Median and Sicyan soldiers who were easily repelled by the Greeks. The narrow pass prevented the Persians from using their numbers effectively, and the Greek phalanx, a tight formation of shields and spears, proved devastating. The Persians suffered heavy casualties, while the Greeks lost only a handful of men. On the 2nd day, Xerxes sent his elite troops, the Immortals, 10,000 hand-picked soldiers known for their skill and discipline. Again, the Greeks held firm. The Spartans, with their longer spears and heavier armor, had the upper hand in close combat. The Persians, lightly armored and armed with shorter weapons, were no match for the men of bronze, as Herodotus called them. Many Persians fell into the sea, drowning in their attempt to overwhelm the Greeks. By the end of the 2nd day, the Persians had suffered thousands of losses, while the Greeks remained resolute. But the Greeks' position was not unassailable. Unknown to them, a local man named Ephialtes, seeking reward from Xerxes, revealed a mountain path that could be used to outflank the Greek position. Xerxes seized this opportunity, sending his Immortals under Hydarnes to march through the night and attack the Greeks from the rear. Ephialtes, a Greek from Trachis, betrayed his people for Persian gold. He showed Xerxes a path over the mountains, known as the Thermopylae path, which allowed the Persians to bypass the Greek defenses. The Phocians, tasked with guarding this path, were caught off guard when the immortals attacked. Outnumbered and unprepared, they retreated, leaving the path open. By dawn on the third day, Leonidas learned of the betrayal. Realizing their position was compromised, he called a council of war. He ordered the majority of the Greek forces to retreat, saving them for future battles. But Leonidas and his 300 Spartans, along with 700 Thespians and 400 Thebans, chose to stay. They would fight to the death, buying time for the others to escape and ensuring their sacrifice would inspire Greece. The morning of the third day dawned with the knowledge that this would be the last stand. Leonidas led his men to the widest part of the pass, where they could fight with some maneuverability. The Spartans and Thespians fought with unparalleled bravery, driving back the Persians 4 times. But the immortals, now attacking from the rear, began to surround them. Leonidas himself fell in the fighting, his body later recovered by his comrades and mutilated by the Persians. As the battle raged, the remaining Greeks retreated to a small hill behind the Phocian wall. Here, they made their final stand, fighting until they were overwhelmed by Persian arrows. All were killed, except for the Thebans, who surrendered and were later branded as traitors. Herodotus tells us that the Spartans and Thespians fought until every last man fell. Their sacrifice was not in vain. It inspired the Greeks to continue their resistance. With Thermopylae fallen, Xerxes' army marched south, sacking Boeotia and eventually capturing Athens. But the Greeks were not defeated. At the Battle of Salamis, the Greek navy won a decisive victory, forcing Xerxes to retreat. The following year at Plataea, the Greeks defeated the Persian army, ending the invasion. Thermopylae, though a defeat, became a symbol of Greek resilience. The battle's legacy endures. Simonides' epitaph for the Spartans reads, "Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie." Monuments were erected to honor the fallen, including a stone lion for Leonidas. In modern times, Thermopylae has inspired countless works, from poetry to films like 300, though they often romanticize the events. Yet, the core truth remains. A small band of warriors stood against an empire, and their courage changed history. The Battle of Thermopylae is more than a military engagement. It is a testament to the human spirit. Leonidas and his men knew they faced certain death, yet they chose to fight. Their sacrifice delayed the Persians, saved the Greek navy, and inspired a nation to resist. Thermopylae teaches us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, courage and determination can make a difference. It is a timeless tale of sacrifice and heroism, one that continues to resonate today. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more timeless tales of antiquity. Until next time, remember, history is not just about the past, it is about understanding who we are today.